Hey everyone, I'm unfortunately not Aiden, but I will be here today. I'm Vishal, one of the co-founders of Stride. Let's go. So I'm here to tell you today about the minimal, secure, liquid staking zone that is the Stride blockchain. Now, you've already heard from some other liquid staking providers about why liquid staking is important, how it works at a high level, and some other details about the nitty-gritty of liquid staking chains. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how Stride differentiates ourselves today, but before we get into that, let's just cover a little bit of the similarities between Stride and most of the other liquid staking blockchains. For simplicity, Quicksilver here, just because they're pretty close to launch, but the similarities are pretty similar across all of the chains. So for one, Stride and most other liquid staking zones operate as a sovereign blockchain, and they get all of the security properties that you'd expect by being your own sovereign zone. Next, Stride and most of the other liquid staking providers use ICA, interchain accounts, and ICQ, interchain queries, in order to operate liquid staking effectively for consumers. Next, for Stride and most other liquid staking providers like Quicksilver, all validators are eligible to be in the validator set. So let's take Atom as an example. All 150 Atom validators are eligible to be delegated to from Stride or Quicksilver. Next, the community is ultimately the one that is going to decide the set of weights for validators for both Stride and Quicksilver, and likely most other liquid staking providers, albeit through slightly different mechanisms, but at the end of the day, it's the community. Next, governance by proxy. This is a really highly anticipated feature, and one that most liquid staking zones are going to enable shortly after launch, Stride and Quicksilver included. So what this means is that you can take your liquid staking derivatives like ST Atom and use them to go vote on governance proposals on Atom, on the hub. Next, what is ultimately controlling your delegations? When you call liquid stake, how is your Atom going and being staked on the hub? And ultimately, it's through interchain accounts. This is true for pretty much all liquid staking zones that you can think of. Lastly, do you have to unbond your tokens to liquid stake? Unfortunately, for now, with all liquid staking providers, the answer is yes, until the liquid staking module, built and designed by Zaki, is integrated into these chains. For the hub, this is going to happen in January, but for other chains, it might be slightly before or slightly after. So now that we've covered a little bit of the similarities, what distinguishes Stride? What unique value does Stride bring to the vibrant Cosmos ecosystem? So we think there are two things we really want to focus on. I want you to think about when you think of Stride. First is that we're a minimal blockchain. That means is that we do one thing and we do it very well. Second is security. We spent a lot of time focusing on security to try to make our chain as safe as possible. Let's talk about minimalism first. So when you think about minimalism on Stride, what this means is that we're a true app chain, and we do one thing, we do that really well. That's liquid staking. We don't have a lot of these other bells and whistles. We're mostly are trying to use other DeFi protocols to integrate Stride into them. So three key benefits. You get neutrality in that you can trust that Stride is actually neutral, doesn't have a dog in the fight. Second is integration. We focused a lot on making it really easy to integrate Stride into other DeFi protocols. And lastly, security. When you have a smaller set of features, we think it's easier to be more secure. Let's get into all of these. So first, on neutrality. Because Stride does one thing, liquid staking, and does it well, and doesn't have competing products like DEXs or money markets or stablecoins, you can trust that it is credibly neutral like the Cosmos Hub. There's no other incentives here. That's not to say that this model is always the best, but there's trade-offs, and this is the niche that we're trying to occupy. We think it brings a lot of value to the table. So because Stride is a true app chain, you can really be confident that we've spent a lot of time working on the core liquid staking functionality. But more importantly, when we talk to other app chains like Osmosis or Crescent or whatever it may be, they can trust that we ultimately have what's best for both protocols at heart. As a result, also, we don't view Stride as being kind of zero-sum. Rather, Stride wins when the DeFi protocols that we're able to integrate into, when those protocols do well, Stride does well. And so we're really focused on growing the pie all throughout Cosmos DeFi. The second really big thing that we care about when we think about minimalism, though, is integrations. So because Stride is its own app chain, we can operate in this collaborative and not competitive environment. When we think about all the really innovative DeFi happening, we're really, all throughout Cosmos, we're super excited to bring Stride to integrate into all of these amazing protocols, like Osmosis. So since we've launched 3 weeks ago, we've already talked to dozens of teams about potentially integrating Stride. We're excited to announce we've already locked down 4 really key partnerships. So the teams from Membrane, Margin, Silk, and Composite have already worked on starting to integrate ST Atom and the other ST tokens into their protocol. And we're only going to see more protocols come in and hopefully integrate with Stride. Anyone in the audience is interested in integrating with Stride, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. So the last thing I really want to focus on minimalism is security. So when your protocol does a few set of things, and only those set of things, it makes the potential attack surface, or the set of kind of ways attackers can penetrate your system, it makes those fewer and farther in between. So when you think of a potential hacker trying to attack Stride, there's very few things they can do on our blockchain, and it makes it hard to think of really kind of critical vulnerabilities. For example, Stride doesn't enable Cosmoverse on our chain. Cosmoverse is a really cool, innovative technology, but given that we're really dedicated to being a liquid staking app chain, we don't need this kind of functionality that provides, and as a result, there's fewer kind of entry points for attackers. The next thing that we really care about, though, on minimalism and security is that there's fewer moving parts. So let's say we work on a code update to liquid staking, and we're thinking about how we can test that. We don't have to think about how that interacts with Stride's DEX and Stride's stablecoin and Stride's other XYZ product. Rather, we only have to think about how that change interacts with liquid staking. This makes it easier to think about deploying future product releases or roadmap items because there's fewer ways things can go wrong. But not only do we think we get a lot of security from being a minimal blockchain, but security is honestly one of the things we focused on the most at Stride. Something since day one that we've given as our true top priority. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what steps we've taken to make Stride as secure as possible. So 4 things let's get into today. First is testing. We've done a lot of really rigorous, robust testing of our code base. We're excited to tell you about it. Second is rate limiting. So we've worked on this kind of novel set of features on Stride where we check these core variables and make sure they don't move too much to try to reduce the potential attack surface that Stride offers. Third, I'm really excited to unveil today that we're partnering with Immunefi to launch one of the biggest bug bounties in all of Cosmos for the Stride blockchain. Super excited about this. Last, and I know you're all excited about this, is that Stride is going to use ICS in order to secure its chain to further secure the Cosmos. Let's talk about all of these a little bit more in depth. First, testing. So we've done a lot of work to try to test our entire code base before rolling out into production. This starts off with unit test. So Stride is one of the heaviest users of ICA today, and we built out one of the first really full-featured ICA unit test cases. So anytime you make a code update, these tests will automatically run through the entire suite of Stride functionality to make sure everything is okay. But it doesn't just stop there. After Stride, when we want to go deploy to new chain, let's take Osmosis as an example. When we think about deploying to Osmosis, we have a very standardized and rigorous process for how Stride is going to deploy onto this chain. So this starts off with first, we spin up an internal testnet for Stride and an internal testnet for Osmosis. We then run through the full suite of Stride tests on this connection. After that's done, we spin up another Stride internal testnet and connect that to the Osmosis main testnet. Again, we run through the full suite of Stride tests here to make sure everything's functioning as expected. After that passes, then we connect Stride mainnet to Osmosis mainnet, and again, run through a full suite of integration tests to make sure every core piece of functionality is working properly. Only after all of those things pass do we then count the product as launched and unveil it to the Cosmos ecosystem. But it doesn't just stop with integration tests. We care a lot about how our chain will function under stress tests. So what happens if you have hundreds or thousands of users interacting with Stride in kind of unpredictable ways? To unravel this problem, we've built this custom testing framework called Firehose. And what Firehose does is connect to 2 testnets and simulate thousands of users running through all the standard functionality on the chain. So this lets us, for example, we're trying to deploy to Osmosis, simulate thousands of users on both the Stride and Osmosis chains, and have them all liquid stake, IBC transfer around, redeem, etc., and make sure that everything's functioning exactly like we expect, no money is unaccounted for, etc. So it gives us a lot of confidence on our chain. But our testing doesn't just stop there either. We've also finished 2 audits before launching from Certic and Oak Security. And both of those audits included really heavy-duty testing of the Stride protocol. We also just kicked off a 3rd audit from Informal Systems that's going to further help us test Stride. It doesn't just stop there. Our plan is to keep ongoing audits for Stride to make sure our chain remains secure as we scale all throughout the Cosmos. Lastly, we're currently on the market for a full-time security researcher. We're looking for someone who's really qualified and interested in security, focused full-time on just testing the Stride chain, focused on thinking about more innovative security measures that we can implement. So if you or anyone you know is interested, please reach out to us. We're really excited to hire for this role. So beyond testing, we've done some other pretty interesting things, I think, on the Stride chain. So the first one to talk about is rate limiting. And what this is basically we have this philosophy at Stride that we care more about safety than liveness. What this means is if there's anything that might go wrong where the chain is potentially unsafe or there's a potential bug, we always err on the side of stopping our chain until we can make sure nothing goes wrong and then resume the chain. Instead of favoring liveness where we care about the chain persisting always, even when some things might go wrong. So this philosophy kind of guides a lot of Stride. And the idea here is that liquid staking can grow to be a really meaningful part, have custody of a really meaningful amount of assets. We really care about the security considerations here. We want to minimize any potential kind of attacks that occur. So what do? We run these suite of what we call invariant checks, not every 6 hours, not every hour, but rather every single block. So the start of every single block on the Stride chain, we check a bunch of variables on Stride to make sure they are what we expect. And if any of them seem a little bit funny, it either means that there's a bug or an attack. And so we immediately halt our chain, and all chain functionality is paused. The idea being that then developers can come in and take a look and see what's wrong, and either fix the bug if there is one, or kick out the attacker if there is one. And only after everything is safe do we then resume chain functionality. The idea being that in case of an attack, we want to really minimize any funds being lost at all. We don't just check this every block though. Even when core chain functionality like staking or redeeming is called, we run through a subset of these checks as well to make sure everything looks normal and all right, and only after those checks pass do we allow the stake or redeem call to go through. But the kind of suite of threat detection that we have right now isn't done. We're always adding more tests to this suite so we can increase the kind of coverage that Stride provides to help detect if we're ever under attack. This is only going to keep getting better as Stride continues to grow. Next thing that we're really excited to announce is we've been talking to Immunefi and we want to unveil our partnership with them. So Stride is launching one of the largest bug bounties in all of Cosmos, a $500,000 bug bounty to try to find and fix any critical flaws with the Stride chain. We just kicked off this onboarding process last week. We expect to be done in the next few weeks. We can be fully onboarded onto Immunefi's platform. As a quick reminder, Immunefi is the leading bug bounty platform all throughout crypto and has thousands of security researchers who are on it actively looking for bugs on any of the chains. So we welcome all of you to take a look at Stride's codebase and try to find any bugs so we can collectively help make Stride the most secure chain in all of Cosmos. But I want to keep in mind, this $500,000 bug bounty doesn't just stop there. As Stride grows and the total value unlocked on Stride continues to grow, this bug bounty is going to grow as well. The idea being, as Stride gets more and more total value unlocked, the value of fixing any bugs also keeps going up. So next, I know you're all pretty excited about this. Stride is going to consume interchain security when it's live. Really excited to announce this. I think it's going to help secure Stride and help secure the Cosmos overall. Yeah. So we're currently onboarding onto the interchain security testnet, and I'm really excited to be there from testnet all the way to mainnet to help collaborate any way and contribute any way that we can. We're hoping that as Stride's total value unlocked grows, that we continue to use ICS to leverage the over $3 billion of economic security that the Cosmos Hub offers. And through this, we can make sure that the funds on Stride remain safe. Moreover, we're really excited about mesh security. And we think that this ultimately could be the future of Stride and what we hope is going to happen. We hope that as Stride grows, every chain that we onboard, we provide security to that chain, and we also rent security from that chain. The idea being, as we start growing to more and more chains, we can keep continually increasing the amount of security on the Stride chain. Really excited about this. So, told you a little bit about what we think differentiates Stride. So, right now, we're running into right around 3 weeks after the Stride mainnet has launched. Around September 5th, Stride first launched ST Atom, allows you to liquid stake your Atom on Stride. So since then, we've unlocked $5 million of value. This means that users have liquid staked $5 million with Stride and now have unlocked that liquidity to go use all throughout the cosmos, wherever their favorite DeFi protocol lives. We have $10 million of liquidity on Strides on the DEXs that support ST tokens. So if you have ST Atom or ST Stars, you can go very quickly sell it in this AMM and receive your staking yield while also remaining liquid. Really excited about this. We're already one of the number 5 most liquid AMMs in Osmosis and hoping to keep continuing to add liquidity to the Stride chain. We've onboarded not just one chain, but 2 chains in the last 3 weeks. So we started with ST Atom, and now we also have support for ST Stars. We have 5,000 users who've already interacted with the Stride platform, and it continues to grow. So we want you all to start using Stride and see what we built. Lastly, we've had dozens of projects reach out to us about potentially integrating, and we're really excited to unveil these over the next few weeks as they start coming out. But we're just in the beginning. We're not done yet. We're just at the very start of Stride's journey. Here's just a little bit of upcoming alpha we want to share with you about where the future of Stride could grow. First, we're really excited to announce integration with Kujira and their upcoming USK stablecoin. So the Kujira team was really excited about what we built at Stride and the technology and the security stack that we have, and we were really excited about everything Kujira is building. And we're excited to say that SE tokens will be able to be used as collateral on the USK stablecoin. This means that you can now go continue to collect your staking yield, but also go mint stablecoins, so you can help contribute to decentralization of fiat. This is really exciting. We think makes the opportunity cost of contributing to a over-collateralized stablecoin much less severe because you can continue to collect your staking yield. Next, we're going to start onboarding ICS when it rolls out to V3 onto our chain. We've already started our testing process for this and are really excited about potentially being one of the first chains to use ICS on mainnet. Third, we've started developing to integrate the liquid staking module onto Stride. So this means is when we start onboarding chains like the Hub that have the LSM enabled, we can allow you to liquid stake on Stride without unbonding your assets. Lastly, we're really excited to announce a bunch of upcoming integrations where we are going to deploy Stride on different chains. We've already deployed on Atom and Stars, and the community has told us really positive things and is really excited about Juno, Osmosis, Secret, Evmos, and Injective. If there's any other chain that you're excited to bring liquid staking to, please reach out to us and we'll add it to this roadmap. So if you get just 1 or 2 takeaways from this talk, I want you to think about Stride and think about how it is the minimal and secure liquid staking blockchain. We're a true app chain that we only want to do one thing, liquid staking, and do that very, very well. We focus on that quite a bit. And then we also have focused a ton on security, on trying to make our chain as secure as possible. So liquid staking, we're really excited. We think it's going to ultimately unlock a lot of the value in DeFi. Users no longer have this trade-off between DeFi yields and liquid staking, or in staking yields. You can participate in both. And lastly, we're really excited to announce that we're going to use ICS to secure our chain as we continue to scale throughout the cosmos. Lastly, I just want to thank all of our partners who have helped us get here. Really excited to see where the future of Stride grows, and want all of you to come partner with us as well. Thank you so much for listening to our talk.